Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Worthy Kitchen. Today we are going to be making ourselves some anabolic mac and cheese. I know that there are some other recipes. Remington James has one, but let me tell you, this one is going to blow that one out of the water. I've made Remington's, it was good, but I think I will be able to make it better. So tune in and watch as we make our mac and cheese. That's going to be much lower in calories, still very high in protein, and able to fill you up with something that's not a schmuck serving for the amount of calories you are consuming. So hang in there. This one's actually going to be incredibly easy. It only takes one pot and about 10 minutes to cook, and that will be all. For today's recipe, you are going to use some butter extract, some fat-free cheddar cheese, some fat-free evaporated milk, some fat-free American cheese, some Cholula, some Cayenne Pepper, some ground mustard, some Old Bay, and you will be using shirataki, macaroni, and nutritional yeast. Pro tip: to open evaporated milk, you'll take your can opener, punch a hole in one side, that's going to be your spout, and then turn it around, and you'll actually punch a hole on the other side. That's going to be where your air flows through to allow it to pour evenly. Here we have measured out 112 grams of fat-free cheddar, 120 grams of fat-free evaporated milk, and we have here 5 slices of fat-free American cheese. These are the only ingredients that we'll need to have pre-measured before we start cooking. To get the cook going, first we're going to heat just the evaporated milk for a bit. We have this on a low medium. Once that's been heating for a while, we're going to add a few shakes of our butter extract. After a minute or two, the evaporated milk should feel notably hot when you put your hand above it. So that's when you will add in all of your fat-free cheddar cheese. Then you're going to mix it. It will take a while to mix in, but worry not. The evaporated milk has ingredients to make it easier for mixing and holding things in suspension. After it's been mixed for a while, you're going to add in a few shakes of your ground mustard. You'll also add in a bit of your cayenne. Hold on to it though, we're going to add more on top at the end. We're also going to add in a bunch of Old Bay. You can use regular salt if you'd like. I like the flavor blend I get from Old Bay mixed in with the cheese. As you can see here, the cheddar is starting to melt quite a bit, so it is time for us to add all 5 of our slices of American cheese. Once all of our American cheese has been added in, we're going to start stirring. After some stirring, we can see that we're starting to get something that really does look like a cheese sauce. One of the last things we'll have to do now is add in our Cholula. I'm just going to add in a few shakes here. I'm not really measuring because it doesn't really have any notable calories. And then I mix that in. The great part about adding hot sauce is it not only increases the flavor, but the orangeness actually increases the cheesiness of the look of your mac and cheese. Out our shirataki macaroni. I got these from Thrive Market. It was relatively inexpensive, and it was a good way for me to get these. I know that some grocery stores do carry different varieties, but you'll want to be using a shirataki macaroni. So to get this drained, first we snip, then we take a sieve of some sort or a colander, and we just dump the whole thing in. Then we just run some water over it. And now it's ready to go. We go back over to our pot of cheese, and we just take our shirataki. It doesn't need extra boiling, and we dump it in. Then we just need to mix. Really make sure that you're coating all of your macaroni noodles. You can see already that this is going to be a large serving for the amount of calories you're getting and protein. The nutrition facts are going to be on the screen now. Once our pasta is all cooked, we can then pour it into a bowl. Oh, look at that cheese sauce. Now what we have to do is add our 7 grams of nutritional yeast on top. Once the nutritional yeast has been added, we'll top it off with a couple more dashes of cayenne. Now it's ready. All right, everyone, here we are, ready to taste. And let me tell you, I am so excited. So I'm gonna mix in some of that nutritional yeast. Not only will it increase the umami of the dish, but it'll also give a little bit of a texture break. So only stir it in right before you start eating. You could add breadcrumbs also, but I'm choosing to go with this. So everyone, cheers, let's go. Now, admittedly, the shirataki noodles have a little bit less bite than a traditional pasta does, but the cheese sauce makes up for it, guaranteed. If you take one thing from this recipe, take the cheese sauce, throw in the cheese sauce with some banza. I've done that before as well as I was working this dish out. It also would work really well if you wanted to have it with some chips that you made from lavash or some tortillas. Either way, you're going to really enjoy this one. And as you can see, not a schmuck serving. All right, everyone, so that's gonna be doing it for eating today. I'm gonna finish this before I end up going downstairs, get some squatting in, and I will see you down in the gym. All right, everyone, so I'm going to give it a shot at doing a voiceover. So you can see here, I'm just going to be warming up with the bar alone, and that's going to allow me to get an idea of how things are feeling for the day, going through the motion without having to really load any major weights up on my body. All right. So what I'm doing is actually called a low bar squat. You can see the way that the bar is going across my rear delts as opposed to sitting on top of my traps. Okay, this allows for the body to be a little bit more angled forward and therefore incorporates more of the glutes and hamstrings, so you can end up moving more weight. Another thing you should note is that I'm not doing very much for warming up. I just start squatting. The reason for that is excessive stretching can make your performance outcomes a little bit lower than what they would be otherwise. Another important thing to note is that I actually don't grab the bar, or don't grab the bar with my full hand. Okay, I'm actually only using my index, ring, and middle fingers to hold the bar in place. It's something called a talon grip, but it saves my shoulders, elbows, and wrists quite a lot of discomfort, just because I'm able to drop my elbows a little bit lower to where they feel a bit more comfortable. It's the same sort of thing that you get out of using a buffalo bar for squatting. Alright, so these are just a few things to keep in mind. Make sure you're also noticing that I go below parallel each time. That's something that I can start to cut as I get closer into competition. And here we go with our last lift of the day. So I was really supposed to be doing some belt squats after, but as you saw there, that 495 was a bit of a hellacious grind. It's the most I've done since the school year started and since I really started dropping my weight down. So being in the 2 teens now, as opposed to the 250s, it makes a heck of a lot of a difference. So I'm gonna take that as a win. I'm gonna be trying to be down here squatting more. I should be squatting more. Okay, so I'm gonna need to be squatting over 400 every week from here on out, just to make sure I can get those numbers to go up. As they say, those are rookie numbers. Anyway, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Why don't you go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell also, and drop a comment down below. What would you like to see from training? Bear in mind, we have a small garage gym set up, but what sort of things would you like to see? Do you want to see some advice? Whatever it is, you let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to have any food recommendations, drop those down in the comments below. And we will see you in that next one. But until then, stay worthy.